Go ahead and intro it.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to Fast Charging with B&B. I am Bear,
And I'm Brian.
and we have episode 60 something for you, and it's going to be a doozy. We got
63.
63. Is,
Yeah.
is that the rumor? Okay. 63 it is. That's what Brian says. I can't count past 10, so I'm giving you the best I got. So, Brian, what's going on? Anything new?
No, nothing new. Absolutely nothing at all new this week. Oh, you know what? Did you know that Tata has started deliveries of its Ace EV to some companies?
Tata. I thought this was a family-friendly kind of channel.
It is.
And why are you talking about your
love,
Tatas?
Families love Tata.
I like getting them
Families-
delivered.
I like delivery Tatas and DiGiorno Tatas.
Uber Tatas.
Oh, yeah. Indian Tatas.
I said Uber, not Indian.
Oh, I don't care what you said.
Okay.
I didn't say. Nope. So finally, they've started deliveries. 21 kilowatt hour LFP battery. So
That's
it's,
slightly more than a Electromechanica Solo. I think they're at 17.
but it's for in town.
Yeah, yes, it is. It is.
How much is
Uh,
9.9 lock?
well, no one's ever asked me that before.
Let's see.
To be honest with you, I think I'm a little offended. What do you got? How much is 9.9 lock? Like
So
50 bucks?
I think it's 12 grand. I think it's $12,000. That can't be right. Maybe they're tiny. If that's a $12,000 electric delivery rig with a range of 50, 60 miles, hey man, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I guess. But it's a it's saying okay, so 154 kilometers stated range, meaning that, and then it questions probably with a load 100 kilometers, which is roughly 60 miles.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
that? Okay, so how much is
It's
600 kilograms?
well, let's find that out too.
It's
Uh,
50 50 pounds, isn't it?
600 kg to Lubs is 1,322 pounds.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah,
Not too shabby.
yeah. So that's a thing that's happening. But a 21 kilowatt hour battery, that's nice and tiny, man. That's great.
That is very small, and sacrifice the range to get a better payload.
Yep, for sure. And a
Yes.
much, much lower price. Yeah, half ton. Yeah, it's a half ton. There you go.
And it comes on a
Ish.
Tata.
It does. It does. Pay extra for that. Do you know the electric Ram? Speaking of things people like,
Rammed?
is an electric Ram
What
pickup.
what happens when you ram the
Well, you
Tatas?
well you get an 18-foot long asshole. I love the jokes. Okay, so
Wow. I didn't even set you up for that, and you just took it
no.
and you hit that out
There
of the park.
you lob a softball down the middle of the plate. You don't get to act surprised.
Oh my God, I didn't even really look at that title, and they've got Ram, 18-foot long Passhole. They have Swallow, super long. There's a lot going on in that.
Yes. Yes, there is. It's very exciting. So do you remember, which one was it? The Bollinger, I think, that had the pass-through, where you could put cargo in a channel that ran all the way from butts to nuts, as it were, from one end to the other. And this is the same. If if you had a 15-foot 2x4 and you needed to move it, a 16-footer, you could move 8 of them. Okay, 4 of them.
I wonder if
But
the
you could,
center console will be in the way. Oh, we forgot.
and
So
this,
is everything
I'm
from the
annoyed.
rear to the
Yeah.
front? Is that from the two holes? Is that the do they instead of the cabin they call it the taint?
I think they call that the blastula because when you're developing, that's the hole that goes all the way through before you're a fetus. So that's the
Wow.
blastula hole. Uh huh. And 77. So, Bear, did you click to see 77 renders?
You know what? As much as I'd love to, my computer will not participate. Actually, I don't think those are all renders.
I don't think they are. I think these might be photos from CES,
There
which would be
was
exciting.
one of these trucks was at CES.
It has the suicide doors, which is exciting.
Yes,
Maybe
I
not the best idea, but exciting.
I think it's cool. Why
Yeah.
don't you like suicide doors?
Oh, I don't have an opinion on them. I just know they were discontinued for a reason, and I assume the reason has to do with the name. If you
The
look at
name
one,
the
there's
name
one
was
of these pictures that,
discontinued. The name was discontinued, but Ford still has them on their trucks. Where when you get a extended cab, the
yeah,
back door opens suicide style. And I thought some
yeah.
of the Toyotas may have done that. And I bet somebody, because we have so many people on, somebody will be like, "Nope, I have this vehicle and it has one."
Wasn't there a Saturn that also had it for like a smaller jump door kind of thing? Oh, who was this pointed out? They're called unalive doors now.
Oh God.
Yeah. So in there is a picture here that's kind of neat. The front and rear seats are on the same rail. So you could put them as far forward or back as you wanted. Technically, you could remove the front seat and sit all the way in the back if you've got really long legs
That's
and
Hightower from
arms.
Police Academy did that.
Yeah,
In
that's
a
right. I
yeah
remember that
yeah
documentary.
yes, highly
Yeah.
educational on what was going to come in the future.
Boy,
As
that movie aged poorly.
it
It's
sure
got a
did.
very interesting panoramic roof that I honestly like. It's got a bunch of great stuff in it. Let's just build it. Can
Yeah,
we do that?
the whole rail system is a very good idea. They have it in the bed. It's even more important in the bed than it is for the chairs up front. Unless they had more rails, so like you could position your seats like off center, that would be really cool for the back seat. But I like the rail setup. I like the look. The look is it's different. It
Sleek.
doesn't look like a standard pickup truck.
No.
So
And it doesn't look like an alien spaceship in a bad way.
I like the alien
I like
spaceships.
it. Well, it depends on the depends on the depends on who's making the movie, I guess.
Here.
I did have a question. William had asked in a comment yesterday, and then he asked again in the chat: do Teslas have an Achilles heel with a battery pack being easily damaged in some wrecks? And if and when it's damaged, that would total the car. So there's a bunch of different answers to this. The short answer is no. It's no more damageable than any other EV. It does have a substantial amount of buffer on the side to absorb shock before the battery itself is encroached upon. And the batteries are replaceable. Even the structural battery packs can be replaced. So any modern car, if it's damaged to a pretty substantial degree, they just total them out. It's like the rear castings. People said, oh, you can't repair a rear casting. To which Sandy Monroe pointed out that if the damage, if the accident is so serious that it deforms the rear casting, that car was going to be totaled anyway.
Yeah,
Thoughts,
and
Bear?
the thing is, you can repair a rear casting. If you've got metal that's bent slightly, you can bend it back. It's not that hard to do. Body shop guys do it every single day, as opposed to just replacing a fender. They'll look at a panel, a quarter panel. I mean, it's not cast. It is a stamped item, but it is welded onto the car. It is now one piece of the car, as it's one piece with the roof, with the other quarter panel. They're all welded together. Welding is actually stronger than welds are usually stronger than the actual steel themselves. So they can't replace a quarter panel without reshaping or welding or doing some of their bodywork magic that they do. So if you have a casting that's slightly dinged up because they got hit right on the wheel well, that's not going to total the car. The the casting will be able to be pulled back out. It is aluminum. Aluminum does bend, not as easily as steel, but they are repairable. It's not like, oh, well, we got a scratch on the casting. We're going to have to total the car because we have to make it look like new. So I'm not
Yeah.
too worried about that. And by the way, when I was in the Tesla body shop back in August or September when my Model Y was there, I asked them, "Have you guys had to work on a casting?" And what do you think that they said?
I would guess they said no.
They said no, they haven't had one come in yet. And I don't know if that's because they got told before they got there or they just have not had to. And you also remember the Challenger accident that I had. That car was totaled. That was a $45,000 car. It was hit in the left side door, okay? And it bent the rocker that's underneath the door. That part's called a rocker. It's right on the bottom, okay? And that car was totaled because of the amount of damage. So a hit like that on a Tesla, yeah, it would total the Tesla also. Not so much that the battery was there, but because there was enough damage to the body of the car. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
And in my chat, there's a discussion about, do you know on the Tesla battery pack why the top of it is steel and the bottom of it is aluminum?
I know there was a reason I heard it at one point. Do you know the answer to this?
It's because the aluminum has a lower melting point, so if there's a fire, the bottom pops out and the cells hit the ground instead of staying trapped inside the car.
Okay. Yeah.
It's elegant.
What is the melting point difference?
I'll let someone in the chat tell us.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the other question is, Shivansh Sharma wants to know, when will the Roadster enter production? No one knows. We don't know. Do you know?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Absolutely nobody. Elon Musk does not know.
I
He
believe
might
that is
he
correct.
might tell you 2 weeks, but he does
But
not
we know
know.
that, yeah, we know that the team, it's not like there's a Roadster team and a Cybertruck team. They're the same teams. They go from project to project. So until the Cybertruck is done, there is no Roadster team.
Did you ever see that movie Better Off Dead? Elon
I'm
Musk
sure.
was in that. He rode the bicycle, and
Yep, that's right.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah. $2. Yeah. And do you remember when Elon Musk went to Mars? How long he was going to stay there? In that
forever.
suit? In that big suit that he was wearing?
Which one was that?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And then what was the movie with the renovation on the house with Tom Hanks?
Money Pit.
Money Pit.
That-
When's the house going to be done?
Well, the foundation's good, so 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Should be 2 weeks.
And when your house burns down, and the electric fire truck can't get there, how long will the ashes simmer for?
Well, that's electric fire trucks don't exist, Bear.
Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they
Oh.
do.
Wait,
The
really?
the city of Los Angeles has gotten the first fire truck, and I really hope that this thing has been tested thoroughly to be able. They know what kind of range that they need. They know how long it can run for and idle at a fire, and all of those important factors. Because I would hate to see this thing look bad because it failed because of the systems.
It has an onboard generator. I think
Diesel.
it's even, like a BMW V6 or something, which technically makes this, I think, an i7.
Maybe it's an F7 for fire.
Yes, the BMW Fire 7. Well, no, but it does have an onboard generator, so that if it is at a site for a prolonged amount of time, the fire is quite fierce. They're able to continue fighting. It charges quickly. It works apparently well.
I think it looks good. Like I said, I just hope it's been thoroughly tested. It is definitely a low rider.
It sure looks low to me. Now, bear in mind, this is from last May, and we haven't heard anything bad about it or good, so who knows?
Has it saved any lives yet?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But they're the only ones developing a new electric car.
Who is?
Well, whoever makes that fire truck.
The fire people?
Oh,
The fire
yeah.
truck people? Not Sony and Honda.
What? What are you talking about?
Yeah, Sony and Honda just announced their new electric car brand, Afeela. With
Not on the first date, you don't.
they decided on the world's worst name, and that's the only thing that they've agreed on, from sources say. Everything else they're going to be fighting over.
I think they also decided it should look like a Lucid if it was purchased off Wish.
A
That's
Lucid
not.
if it was rendered.
If it was, boy, that is just not a good looking car. You know, and here's the problem: is they've been showing this concept for 10 years, and it shows it is dated before it came out. And do you think this time they're actually gonna make it for 2026?
I'm putting it somewhere at a 0.1% chance.
Well, I would go higher than that, but not much. It's just, it's a car without a point. What's the purpose?
Well, its
I mean,
point is to make an electric car.
yeah, but Honda's not doing that, and I don't know, whatever.
But
The
but
prototype
so
looked like a mashup between a 911 and a Lucid Air. No, it didn't.
well, I see the headlight thing going on for the Lucid Air.
Uh huh.
I can't even see a roof on the first picture.
Where's the 911?
I don't know where the 911 is.
Oh, maybe they mean 911.
Yeah, yeah, maybe they meant that because that's 911 is a joke, man. I don't see it.
I don't see it. I think we've given this more attention than it deserves. But you know,
All right.
Toyota plug-in car sales decreased by a third in 22. Why do you think that is?
I think that's only because they are not producing them in enough
Yeah.
volume.
Yeah. All their sales are down. All their Toyota's sales are down across the board. I mean, well, you could say, it was a good quarter. That's great, but yeah, if you don't build electric cars, you can't sell them.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And you know me, I've been on Toyota dealership lots, and they're just not available. And several of the dealerships that I've been to are marking up all plug-ins, all hybrids, $5,000 to $10,000. And that's a reservation list of 6 months, putting $5,000 down for your reservation, and then waiting 6 months to get bamboozled in the price.
Yeah, yeah.
So that could have been a reason, if there were cars there, why people wouldn't be buying them. But people are still buying them. Oh my God, people, please stop buying cars over market price. Except for me, when I have a real need, like the Corvette.
I think you're misunderstanding, my friend. You are not in traffic. You are traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jeff and I saw the Prime, the new Prime, at the car show, San Diego.
Okay. Was
And
it ugly? Which Prime was it? The Prius Prime?
I think we saw the Prius Prime. I don't think we saw the RAV4 Prime. And it was one of those deals where, like, we're going to unveil it. We've got the sheet. And then they removed the sheet and we're like, I'm not disappointed. And they didn't want you to get into it, so they had the doors locked. But somebody just reached in and unlocked it, so we all climbed in. So that was fun.
Wait a minute. So you're saying there's a decent looking Prius Prime?
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
believe you.
I know you don't, and you may disagree with me, but it looked fine. It looked fine. Yeah, Jeff saying in the comments, no, they made the Prius cute. They used to make it ugly on purpose. They're reversing that trend because they got to sell some cars, man.
No, I don't. I put in CES. Oh, I put Pruitt Prime. No wonder why I didn't get anything.
No, this was at the San Diego Auto Show, but I don't know if it's at CES.
Oh, well, why wouldn't it be?
I don't know. I've never been to CES. I can't speak for it.
Oh.
I didn't even think of it. I should have gone. It didn't occur to me to even. Maybe next year.
Yeah, I'm looking at the 2023 Prius Prime. I don't know. I told you I tried to buy a Prius a couple weeks ago.
How'd that
And,
go?
went great. I got approved, and then I listed the car, and
Oh,
then
that's right.
Toyota saw the Toyota Motor Credit saw the listing before the paperwork had gone through and took back the approval. But one of the things I told the salesman when I was looking at the car, I told him this has got to be one of the ugliest cars I've ever seen. I'm like, and then I was like, let's go for a test drive. And I just kept reminding him how ugly the car was until the point where I couldn't buy it. And I said, it's so beautiful, I want it. Um, but yeah, for all you Turo people out there who ever are thinking about going that direction, don't post your car until you're sure that you're approved. So
It was the LA Auto Show, Jeff reminded me. Yeah, don't post, they call that chicken counting. Don't do that.
I
I feel
thought they
like
were
that's a,
hatched.
yeah, well,
It was a game that I play with myself. I want to see how quick I can get a listing when I buy a car.
oh,
And the best I ever got was I had bought a car, posted it while I was in financing before I'd even signed the papers, and before I got home from the dealership, I had my first rental. So that was pretty cool. So now I'm always trying to beat that record, which it actually killed the car deal.
that's a new record of its own kind.
Probably
Congratulations
probably not, but
for you.
because apparently they've done it before. They were looking for it.
That's weird. That's weird. Oh, but you know what? They see how many cars you have, and they're like,
Well,
it's just
that
weird.
kind of raises a flag.
Kind of. I just like cars.
Yeah.
So, do you know that Stellantis has seen their plug-in sales increase?
Yeah, this is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Uh, it- Not only has it increased, didn't this article say that they were like the cheap Wrangler 4xe is the best-selling plug-in hybrid model in the USA? I have trouble with
Wild.
that. Um, are you telling me, is that only because Toyota can't make them? You're telling me that this car is outselling the RAV4?
Well, the RAV4 plug-in. Are there non-plug-in versions of the RAV4? Because I feel like there
Yeah.
might be.
Oh yeah, there
Yeah.
is.
Well, but this is
Absolutely.
the plug-in version. Yeah, because in Q4, Stellantis sold 20,000 total plug-in hybrids. But
Stellantis did, or
it says Stellantis. In Q4, Stellantis as a whole sold 20,350 PHEVs, which is
so
5.9.
so we're saying that Toyota with their Sienna, which only comes in a hybrid, their RAV4 hybrid, their Camry hybrid, their Corolla hybrid, uh, their Highlanders comes in a hybrid. All of those cars. Wait a minute.
That
This
doesn't
is
sound right.
It doesn't sound right.
Because
I'm
10,000 4XEs is not that many.
okay. So on our previous Toyota plug-in hybrid thing, electric vehicles XE, which includes HEV, PHEV, BEV, FCEV, Toyota was 110,000. And
They make a vaccine for the PHEV now.
oh no, they don't. It didn't work.
Oh, okay.
Wait, was I supposed to take that orally or rub it in?
Oh my God, this whole week, man.
Anyway, uh, this says that Toyota's electrified vehicles for quarter four was 110,000. And
Yeah,
then on this article, we have 25,000. Okay, it's results in December.
I think we're getting into the weeds on something that isn't super important.
I like the weeds.
Yeah. Oh
Well, when
yeah.
it's finding an article that's just full of it.
Well,
But hey,
is that legal in your state?
being full of it,
The weeds.
oh, I no to both.
Oh wow.
But speaking of other surprising numbers, let's just move right over to BMW.
Yeah.
Uh,
EV sales up 107% to 215,000 units. Pretty respectable, I guess. I mean, it's no millions, but it's a good number.
It is. It's actually a very good number. This is worldwide though, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah.
Okay. No, because I don't really see that many BMW electrified vehicles. I mean, I see them, but not like to the tune of 200,000 sold in a year. So those are good numbers.
Yeah. And if you go back, that's probably, yeah, that gets them to where Tesla was not that many years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not too bad. But plug-in hybrids, man. That's a
It's the
those
way of the
are
future.
it's the way of the future because everyone plugs them in.
You know why it's the way of the future?
Why?
Because there's going to be rebates available for them, and you never have to use them.
But people will use them. Everyone plugs them in.
I don't. Now, granted, I got a reason why I don't. Is because they go out on rentals, so it's not used like they're supposed to be used. They're supposed to be used. You commute to work, you come home, you plug it in, and you get enough charge to take you back to work and maybe home without having to use any gas. That's the idea of a plug-in hybrid. Um, and this article pretty much just digs on people who are too selfish to plug in their plug-in hybrid. But apparently, a lot of people don't do it. Uh, why? Because it doesn't really give you that much range. It's for a lot of people. If most of these cars give you like 30 to 40 miles, I think on a plug-in. Would you say that's about right?
I'd say so.
Yeah. So, if you're commuting and you have to go 25 miles or so, you're not making it home uh, without being recharged, and it kind of loses some of its fanciness. If you could get to work and back without using your gas engine, I think those people probably would plug them in more. But once you start getting into it, you kind of lose the flavor of what you're getting out of it.
For sure. And I don't know. It's for a lot of people, it's just not possible. For anyone in an apartment or a condo, it's a
Yes.
hassle. And especially if you're dealing with slow charging, and if you go to a charging station to juice this guy up, what do you? I mean, I don't know. It's
What's the point?
something. What's the point? What's the point?
Because you
And
still have to
that's
go to a gas station.
yeah.
Because
So,
the
fun
time you
fact,
would
by
have
the
to
way.
sit would be too long to make it worthwhile. The only reason I have a plug-in is because I wanted the hybrid part. Not even realizing that Chrysler didn't make a hybrid without a plug-in. I was like,
Right?
it's a bonus, but it
Yeah.
wasn't what I bought the car for.
If I had one, I would absolutely plug it in because it'd be convenient for me to do so. I have 110 near where I park and drive so infrequently that it would always be topped off. And most of my trips are quite short. Fun fact, by the way,
Your
did
PO
you
is
know
close?
my PO?
Your,
Is that a parole officer joke?
yes, it
Ah,
was.
yes. Yeah, no, he's knocking on my door every day. Where's
Where's
my drug test? Where's my drug test?
where's Bear at? You're not allowed to be
You'll
around him.
you'll get it. You'll get it, man. You'll get it. I just need to find some clean urine. Anyway, do you know in Denmark, if you were go to the Hyundai page to order, you'd find something interesting. Do you know what it is?
You'd find that you can't find an ICE vehicle.
What? That doesn't make any sense at all. Those
What did you
are
say? Great Denmarkian accent.
ah
They do have the Ionic 6 on there, though.
yeah. Why is that weird?
Well, it's not available here yet.
Oh,
So,
well, they get a lot of things before we do in Europe, and a lot of things we never get in terms of electric vehicles.
because they're ahead of us on time. So they have a hydrogen car on there?
Interesting because I know from Lars Invest in Tesla that they have been closing hydrogen stations. I don't know if it's something. Oh my gosh, look at the price of it. No one's buying that compared to
I
the
don't,
others.
I don't even know
Right.
what I don't even know what
Right.
that price is.
It's double. It's more than double that of the Kona, and it's
Yeah, but it's not that much more
20,
than
30%
the
more
Ionic
than.
6 or the Ionic 5. And
Yes,
maybe it's more luxurious. You don't know.
that's
You don't
true.
know if you're comparing apples to apples. I mean, the Kona is a tiny little car.
Hmm.
It's cute,
Yeah, I don't know
but
how many they're selling.
so speaking on that side of the planet, you ever go to Vietnam? You ever want to?
I would love to. I would go to Vietnam if somebody would pay for it. If it was like an all expenses paid trip, I would absolutely go. Why do you ask?
Because you might be able to get an offer to go and get maybe $10,000 on top of that.
So it's interesting. We've seen a lot of really good coverage of VinFast, and they had a booth at Fully Charged, and they let you sit in the car. They wouldn't go on camera for me. They wouldn't give me anyone to interview because I am not big enough or important enough, or maybe there's a different reason. But apparently, they offered a bunch of influencers and journalists. They said, "Tell you what, why don't you come out to Vietnam and check out the car? Just come out and check it out." And so they'd fly you to San Francisco, where you would board a private chartered jet to go for your 10-day, all-inclusive private island resort, where you would get $7,000 bottles of bourbon and wined and dined every day. Presumably not anything beyond wining and dining, I'm sure. And then, of course, yeah, while you're here, go ahead and test drive the car and do some coverage of it. This gentleman said, "No, thank you. I think that is not for me." And so they offered him 10 grand on top of it. 10 grand.
I would have so been on that plane. Did you say $7,000 bottle of bourbon?
That's the rumor. That's the rumor.
Do you remember me and you? We couldn't tell a $5 shot between a $10,000 shot of bourbon
Yes. Yes, our
or
friend
whiskey.
Larry
Yes.
was gracious enough. He's like, "They have the best bourbon in the world here. It is like $100 to, I don't remember, a cajillion dollars a shot. You guys want to try it?" And we're like, "No, no, please no, no. We can't. It set your money on fire. It'd be at least we'd get some warmth out of it." So he got us like a $10 shot or something much more reasonable that I enjoyed every bit as much.
I think those shots were $35 each.
Okay, well, I don't know because I can't tell. But at least, please.
Oh, I can't tell. I thought we asked the waitress.
I think we did ask the waitress. I
Yeah.
think we did ask the because we're like, "Please tell me it wasn't a fortune." She's like, "No, that's a pretty good one, but not anything crazy." I enjoy a good gold rum, but again, anything over about $10, I'm not going to notice the difference. It's not critical to me. But yeah, no, if I enjoy a good wine, a Boone's Farm, a Mad Dog.
You already lost me.
Oh, you don't know what those are? Those are famously hobo and kid drinks.
Yeah, yeah. I just am not an alcohol connoisseur. I'll drink stuff and I'll be like, okay,
Yeah.
mix it with my fruit punch because that's what I like to drink.
Put it all in a bucket and swirl it around.
Yeah, I just mix it up with my Powerade. Does it go good with blue or red? So
So
that's
Kyle from Out of Spec Motoring and Out of Spec Reviews also declined to go on this trip and said, "No, I just give me the car to drive." And they said, "No." So he managed to get his hands on one at CES yesterday, and was not impressed. It felt cheap. It felt rattly. It looks nice, and that's the only experience I've had with it is looking at it. But once you get it out on the road, he said it felt underpowered. The range listed has got to be wrong because it's listed at like 170 miles of range. The whole and it's just too expensive for what it is. So it's a concern, man.
and you didn't even mention the really odd part of it,
Let's hear it.
the battery pack situation.
Well, that's unclear. So, for those who don't know, we don't give you the battery. We don't sell you the battery. We rent you the battery, but that's up in the air. That may not come to pass. That may be optional. What I heard in San Diego was it's optional. You can buy it or you can rent it. And what Kyle heard was 10 different answers from 10 different people. So it's very much not known.
Their webpage several months ago had it listed that you could lease or buy it. But if you're going to buy it, it puts the car into a $60,000-$70,000 price range.
Yeah,
For its mile range, that's no,
wow.
absolutely is overpriced. So
Wow. That's fun.
now the advantage of all that is if I guess if you get into an accident and your car gets totaled, I guess you don't owe as much on the car, but they're also going to devalue the car a lot more because it doesn't come with the battery.
Well,
Or
the other nice consideration is when the battery's out of warranty, it's still under warranty because it's not yours. But batteries are warranted for so long that I wouldn't be excited about paying $100 a month for the 8-10 years it takes for the warranty to expire anyway. But
think about paying for the car in cash,
yeah,
and now but you're still making a payment because you're leasing the battery.
right.
Didn't I
That's
pay for this? Nope.
nope, no, ridiculous. And yeah, 170 miles of range. That is not good efficiency. How can you get good efficiency, Bear? Can you do it
Well,
with a Segway?
if you gotta, if you got, well, no, I won't go there. But you need to heat it up. You need heat pumps to warm up the cabin so that your battery is not being used for your climate control. Tesla now has that on one of their updates. They put in a trip planner that tells you where your percentage of electricity went to climate usage. The Ford Mustang has that, tells you how much has gone to climate, and on the Teslas, it's pretty low. And in previous studies, they found that Teslas lose they're one of the best at not losing range in the extreme cold, which it's because of their heat pump that they have in the car. And
Yeah.
while other cars like the Chevy Bolt, the Ford Lightning, which is supposedly light years ahead of something, um, they can't handle the cold, and they're going to lose 50% of their range. So those are, did you see the recent video on the Rivian and the cold and towing?
I did not.
Oh, the Rivian just like had a stroke. The Rivian literally stroked out, and the guy was towing, I don't know, 6,000 pounds or something. I don't remember. He's a big YouTuber and a little bit bigger than me, like a million subscribers or something. But he was towing his electric Humvee, but like an H1 Humvee that he's converting to electric
Huh.
through the snowy mountains of Utah. Snow on the ground, freezing temperatures, and the Rivian was literally, the graph would show him he's like at a quarter of his range, but said he had 642 miles of range left. And then he would drive 10 miles and it'd say it had 150. And it'd go back up to 600. The Rivian just stroked out. It did not know what it had left and what it was doing. But he made it to different places without getting stuck.
So the interesting thing that Tesla's done with their heat management that other makers are struggling to do, according to teardown videos Bear and I have seen, is that it's all one system instead of a different system for each. You know, it doesn't have different cooling and heating for brakes versus battery versus climate control. Tesla was doing pretty good before the Model 3, and with the Model 3, they introduced the Super Bottle, which gave them an efficiency improvement that others did not enjoy, and not ones to rest on their laurels. It was replaced quickly with the Octavalve for the Model Y, which took efficiency to yet a higher level. And that is something other automakers are likely to try and copy moving forward because they can now see the benefits. And so that's, I don't know, pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, it is definitely one of the advantages of the Teslas that make them better than the some of the other
Yeah.
competitors out there. I got a short story for you. I promise you it'll be short. When I was buying my Mustang Mach-E, the salesman gave me some cold weather driving advice. She said, instead of turning on the heat, you should try turning on the heat seaters and the steering wheel heaters. That's what Ford recommends to extend your range. And I I almost lost it on her.
I
I was
love
not
it.
in I was not in a good mood, but I was like, this is seriously your advice to extend range is to not use basic functions of the climate control
Just
system.
rub your hands together.
Yeah, it was like, why didn't you guys make a little fire pit in the center console? That would have been good.
Yeah, put a sterno in there. Is that what they're called? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Somebody made that
For
joke, Mr. Sterno. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so literally was Ford's advice to their salespeople to tell consumers is don't use the heat to extend your range. Use the seat heater and the steering wheel heater. It's a true story.
I
I
believe you.
get no, I'm not lying.
I know. It's weird that you had to say that you're not.
I think you're
Um,
calling me a liar.
I would love to call you a liar. I think that's reasonable. But you know, all this improvements for the heat pump is why Tesla is still increasing their prices, especially in Asia. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I think now you're lying.
So, well, I've got this chart here, and if you look at just the first two-thirds of it, you'll see the prices are going up.
Just the first two thirds, and then what happens? What kind of magical mystery happens after
Well,
that?
I'm not sure.
You know, this
Prices.
chart is in Chinese.
So this chart shows price decreases in China, and it's not quite the whole picture because in December there were backdoor price cuts where they said we're not going to give you a discount, but if you get Tesla insurance with it, then we'll give you a discount, or we'll give you a little bit of extra charging. But they've cut prices pretty dramatically. The intro, the base model price for a Y in China is now 38,000 for a rear-wheel drive standard range
Yeah,
model.
and that's dollars, isn't it?
That's dollars. That's
Yeah.
dollars. Yeah, and boy, that's the car I want
Uh-huh.
because that would be. I don't need all-wheel drive, man. I don't need it.
Yeah, unfortunately, they I don't we can't compare it because they don't make the Model Y in a standard range here.
Right. Well, we can look at the cost of their performance and long-range models, which are still.
Yes, they are. I was looking at those prices, and there is a substantial difference. Um, I guess that Chinese slave labor thing really is working out, which is awesome. I, I wish I can get a Chinese car made by children. No, I'm just starting rumors that
You
aren't
are
true.
starting rumors. If you want a car made by children, get one from Hyundai
Hyundai and Kia.
that has parts made in Alabama.
Yeah, in Alabama of all places, not China.
No,
So,
not in Asia. No, Kia's outsourcing their child labor to a place that's poorer than Asia.
oh, please.
Alabama? You think backwoods Alabama's a wealthy place?
I
Have you
would not.
been?
I kind of lived in Alabama when I was in the military
Oh, I see.
for
So
some
you
time.
know how bad it is.
You know what? There's poor parts in every state,
Yeah. Yep, that's true.
and there's good parts in every state. So I'm not
Well,
gonna.
let's not be hasty on that.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've been to Washington.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, it's terrible. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. So anyway,
But
the
I
idea is
heard
the
these
prices
Chinese
have come
people were
down.
so upset. They were pretty upset about
Oh,
this.
good lord. Yeah, prices have come down, and so there's a apparently a number of customers outraged that they paid more, outraged that prices have changed since they purchased their cars. Uh, yeah, and so they went to the stores and got all angry. And apparently, one of the coordinators on Twitter, I saw as a rumor, I don't know if it's true,
Saw that too.
is a BYD employee, which would make sense. but
Yeah.
if these are and did you see the list of demands the customers had?
Oh, they wanted.
Oh,
I think they crossed off Elon's next born because
it was
that
ridiculous.
that was their concession. They wanted everything from
Everything.
full lifetime full self driving.
Yes, lifetime, not for per car, lifetime. They wanted 60,000 miles of free charging. Do you remember what else? There was two other things.
It I don't remember, but
I don't remember,
it
but
was the
all of
full
them were
self driving
just.
one that just like stood out. Like, oh my God, are you really think this is reasonable?
What I saw as a suggestion was, you know what they should offer them? You're right. You deserve something. We will sell you self-driving for half price. 7,500 instead of 15,000. It's a good deal. It's a good deal, man. Take it or leave it.
They can give them half off, double the regular price. That always
Well, no,
works.
give them half off self-driving because no one in China buys it anyway, and it's the marginal cost for it is zero. So
Yeah, it is. It is
it would
zero.
be a hell of a deal for everyone. Half price self-driving for anyone who bought their Tesla in the last 3 months in China, and that way we get a riot from people who bought their car 92 days ago.
Right. That's the problem with that is they could actually just give them all full self-driving and say, "Are you happy now?" But then the people who bought it before that, I'm out of this by one day. This isn't fair. I'm going to go riot. The prices for Teslas have always gone up and down, and the prices for other car manufacturers have always gone up. So other car manufacturers haven't had to deal with this the same way. And when I bought my Model Y, the price of the car went up $1,000. Tesla kept the price that I originally contracted at. I'm grateful for that. But it's just as easy. They could have come back and said, no, it's going to cost you more, which is not good. But these people have to understand, if they're following Tesla at all, that demand for Teslas went down in China. So it's very likely that the price of the cars were going to go down also.
Yeah, yeah, and price of your Apple phone went down. And they said, well, by the way, if Apple dropped their price by 10%, wouldn't that concern you? No, because they do that. And also, Apple doesn't increase their price, which, let's go back to the chart, Tesla did. Tesla was increasing the price, and now now mind you, a lot of these prices are the lowest they have ever been, which is great. But they should be the lowest they've ever been. They're more efficient than they've ever been. They're more streamlined. They have more economies of scale. But in my chat, I've got a lot of people saying, have you noticed that also people are so upset in China, the orders are through the roof and the backlog has returned?
Yeah.
Different people, but yes.
It was people who missed the note from the BYD employee. I did see that note that supposedly was organized. The whole thing was organized by a BYD employee.
Would not surprise me, especially if it was only at one location, which is what it appears to have been. Wouldn't it be at every location? But why no price cuts in the U.S. yet? Is it because it's selling so well?
Yeah. It's one of those things where I think there will be price cuts in the near future, especially once they're able to produce at scale, bigger scale than they are right now at Giga Texas. What are they doing? 3,000 a week, 12,000
Yeah.
a month ish.
Yeah. Over that now, I'm sure, but yeah, that's the latest report we heard. But look at this. I mean, the Model Y is already in the top 10 best-selling cars in the U.S., and that's including things like pickup trucks.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Oh,
well, the list includes the Ram, the F-150, and the Silverado at spots 1, 2, and 3, with this coming in at number 10. It is ahead of the GMC Sierra, the Honda CR-V, the Toyota Tacoma, and the Jeep Grand Cherokee. Oh, those are spots 7 through 10 on the list. Oh, I apologize.
How don't I see
But
the
Model
list?
Y beat. I don't. Yeah, the list isn't actually on here. You have to
Oh,
read, which is not my strong suit.
wait a minute. I got to bust out my glasses. Hold on a second. No.
It was the 6th best-selling vehicle in America, ahead of the GMC Sierra, Honda CR-V, Toyota Tacoma, and Jeep Grand Cherokee. But that was the 6th best-selling, in 2022. Great.
That's not too shabby.
No. It's a long way to get to number 1. You'd need to at least triple your sales, which I don't think they'll do.
So where is this hidden list?
You have to read.
No, where's one? Who's number one? What are they at?
It's always the F-150, so you got to scroll down. The pickup trucks
Oh,
dominate this list with
I'm
the
looking at the
F-Series.
comments.
from Ford being the best-selling vehicle. So the F Series is number one. So Chevy Silverado second. Ram pickup third. This is right underneath. Could Tesla Model Y be the best-selling? Got to go a little further.
No, I run into comments.
Is there a read more? I don't know. The paragraph starts with however.
However, pickup trucks dominated.
That's it. The Chevy F Series being number one. Silverado second. Ram pickup third.
There's no numbers on these.
Oh, yeah. This list is
numbers.
Oh, well. I can't help you there.
God damn it. All right, I'll be okay. We can move on. So I heard IDRA is sending out a new Gigapress.
They sure are. Another 9,000 ton bad boy.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah.
That reminds me of this girl once. Whew.
IDRA?
No, 9,000 tons.
Yeah. So anyway, this is going, of course, to where again?
Asia. So
What?
did you hear about the new Tesla factory in Asia?
I haven't.
Yeah,
Have you?
they're going to put a 9,000 ton Gigapress and build a factory around it.
Build a factory around it. Now, what would you build with a 9,000 ton press if not a Cybertruck?
Die-cast cars, like the Mattel kind of cars. I don't know. What do you think? That are we looking at an Asian competitor maybe making some sort of pickup truck, or is it just not for the automotive field? Could it be something else?
I don't know. I don't know. The use case for something this big is limited.
It is. It has to be something that is massive, mass produced with
Yes.
large quantities. Has
Yes.
to be very big.
Yes. All those things are true. Now, if this is the actual picture, that is Tesla red. Different companies get different colors. I mean, maybe it's going to China for something. And the big rumor is a lot of people say, well, it would be for the single cast car, which I've long said is not going to be a thing, because if you do that, then you now have a redundant structure with the battery. You don't need that. And you cannot cast a whole car in one piece, because a casting has to clamp shut and come back open. And if you were to cast a whole car in one casting, when you open it, you would rip the casting apart. So you could do the bottom half, you could do the left or right half. Maybe you do the left and right and just do, but then again, you've got double structure with the battery. Seems excessive and unnecessary. So I don't know.
And honestly, it wouldn't be big enough when it comes down to it, because you could put a car in there and it's going to crush it, but it's not going to encompass the whole car.
Right. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. It's. There are two companies that make giant presses. One is IDRA in Italy, and the other, which has the same owner, is in China. Yeah, so I thought that was confusing too, because China already has a subsidiary of the same company in China making machines like this for the Chinese market. So I don't know, man.
Maybe they were just throwing us off.
Yeah. I don't know what it's for.
Maybe it's they're shipping it to Asia before they ship it to the US.
It's going on a world tour. Yeah.
It actually could be. They could be just showing it off, because that wouldn't be expensive at all. You know, it takes 2 weeks to disassemble that thing.
I think that's quite quick. I think we're a little behind schedule. Let's
What the hell? Holy. Yeah, let's get moving.
we can run a couple minutes over. I'm sure everyone would enjoy it if they give us both some likes real quick. I'm at 25.
I'm at 18. I'm sorry. I'm at 31. Wow.
Wow.
It just updated. I've got 31 people on and 31 likes.
I've got 42 on and only 25 likes. But people like your show better than mine. Your show's much better.
It is a better show. I mean, that's really not something we should talk about, like that, because it's unsaid. But I can't get more people on by begging. I can only get more likes because I know some of you, I'm pointing at the screen that has the 32 on it, have not hit the like button and you're
Let's.
riding someone else's likes.
I'm at 29 now, so let's keep moving here.
All right.
De-
Yeah. Hey, I heard we were
Depot
behind.
of the future to deliver lower emissions.
Yes, they're testing these trucks out in Australia. Uh, they've got 60 or so trucks that they've got money from probably the government. It's from something called Arena, which is probably some government project name. I don't know. But they're going to be testing these out and start riding these in their train convoys that they do. You know, the big convoys that those,
Yeah, road trains.
the road trains, yes. So I don't know how well that's going to go. Though I could see them being more aerodynamic than three would be just as aerodynamic as one.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So great. I mean, let's do it. Why not? I think the all of the above approach is the way forward. It's the way we got to do it.
yes. And that being said, we're behind on time, so we're moving straight on to the next article, which is an interesting combination of Plug Power and TC Energy. Those are two companies that have something in common besides their interest in hydrogen. TC Energy is a big pipeline company that has spent a lot of their history creating oil pipelines. They were involved in the Keystone pipeline before that got axed. So a fairly decent sized company. And they are now working with Plug Power to deliver hydrogen 30 tons per day. I know you're laughing at this inside, Brian, because you hate hydrogen.
I just think it's pointless.
Yeah, well, that's right. I can hold on. I got you on a 30-second delay. I'm going to mute you. Um, TC Energy and Plug Power both have agreements with Nikola in regards to their future hydrogen trucks. Plug Power is going to be buying 75 of the FCEVs and using these trucks to ship the hydrogen, which is an interesting fact. They're going to use hydrogen to move hydrogen. What do you think about that?
I think they use diesel to move diesel.
Yeah. And these hydrogen trucks all will be arriving hopefully either late this year or early next year. And we'll start moving that infrastructure, creating that infrastructure for hydrogen, which you say will never exist.
Oh, very cool. Anything going on with Nikola?
Wow. That was a blow off.
Well, yeah, it's hydrogen. It's I gave it the attention it deserved.
Yeah, Nikola CEO Michael Loscheller had an interview with some German guys in the Germany country where they talked about what else, but things that are good for the environment, and they talked about the amount of trucks that they have actual binding orders on, and the number for binding trucks was 620 of the BEVs and 1,100. I think I'm getting these numbers wrong. I lost them. You know, when you translate things, you lose stuff.
Binding orders for 1,620 trucks, including 610 battery and
There we
1010
go.
hydrogen.
Why have I lost that? There we go.
It's
That's right at the
right
front.
at the top. Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought it was be stuck in the middle. Yeah, so 1,010 binding orders and 610 binding orders for batteries. So 1,620, that does not include the ones that they have non-binding, and the letter of intents would not be included in these. So I think that's something that's important to note, because letters of intent are not binding orders.
Mm-hmm.
For letters of intent, they have probably a few thousand of each at this point.
I would assume, yeah, anywhere from 3 to 10 times as many letters of intent as binding orders.
Yes.
So yeah.
Mark Russell had said at one point that they had 14,000 reservations for the original Nikola hydrogen truck. So whether or not those carry over to the model that they're actually going to make, I don't know. And how many of those are still good, don't know that either. But Mark Russell said that as recently as last summer.
Where is he now?
I'm not sure. I think he's living the good life.
Did they send him to a farm upstate?
No. Very nice guy, but he hasn't reached out to me to tell me what he's up to.
Do you know Mercedes is going to spend $1 billion in improving the EV fast charging network in the U.S., working with ChargePoint?
Oh man, that sounds like great news. Too bad my webpage came up blank. All right, there we go. Ars Technica. Love the name.
I heard somebody say it out loud. Apparently, it's like Ars Technica, but it's Ars.
It's totally
to
Ars.
get Technica.
Sit down on your bloody arse.
At least 4 plugs per hub, maybe as many as 30. Well, that sounds dirty.
Also sounds, but on the straight side, it sounds a little weak. Okay.
Plug hub. Yeah, it does. Well, yeah. 4 is grossly inadequate, but
yeah, that's disappointing to see that because 4 is not on the leading edge. It's bleeding. It's just going to create lines and frustration and anger and confirm the myths that are out there.
Yeah. That canopy does look nice, Jeff points out.
Well, that's pretty.
Yeah. Yeah. And helpful. Any other charging news? How many electric car chargers is enough? We'll need 2 million level 2 and 172,000 level 3 by 2030. That's a spread.
That is a big spread, and I disagree with that spread.
I disagree with it too. Unless you're including all our homes.
There's probably close to that already. I mean, not there, because I don't think the accumulative. Well, yeah, there could be 2 million level 2 chargers in people's houses by now. It's not likely, but there's been over 2 million electric vehicles sold over the last 4 years, right? 4 or 5 years.
Right? Millions.
Yeah.
And Jeff points out that no, it's exactly that many and not one more. That is the exact number. The study has been conducted, Bear. I don't know what more you want to see. It's got a lot of links in this article, so that's...
You know what they should do with these chargers? Try and make them multi-purpose and not just for cars. And I don't mean airplanes, like pull over in your street, but there's so many things that we use electronics for that need to be charged. Put USB adapters or something in them also. Let people walk up to them. Make them more multi-purpose. I mean, and there's got to be other uses for it. Just put 110 outlets in it if somebody wants to vacuum their car while they're charging it, or something. For these people who live in the apartments and they're going to stick these boxes out in the street. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be more uses and make them more versatile.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You do. You just don't want to say.
I do.
But
I'm just shy.
Here's something that I do know.
All right, let's hear it.
Elon Musk can tweet things, and people will take it for just what they look at on the surface, and then just their heads are going to go and just explode with anger. There's so many internet Karens out there that somebody had to complain to NHTSA and say, Elon Musk is going to take off the nagging steering wheel thing. We're all going to die. Do something, NHTSA. Investigate. So
wait, is that true that we're all going to die?
Yeah, that part is actually true.
Okay, nobody told me that, so I got to go. I got to make some preparations.
I didn't say when.
Oh. Well, yeah, don't spoil it.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I will tell you, it's from a Bronto rock. That's how you die.
A Pronto rock?
Yeah, it's a joke from Don't Look Up. His computer can predict when you die.
Oh.
And how. He goes, how do I die? No, don't tell me. Don't tell me. It's from a Bronto rock. What's that? We have no idea. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah. No, that actually sounds funny. Now, it's probably the funniest line in the whole movie, and I'm not going to watch it now.
Yeah. Yeah, well, good. I'm glad I saved you so much of your life that you then invested in watching Avatar 2.
Oh, come on. At least I got good 10 minutes of sleep. So,
Right. So, what happened is Elon tweeted, somebody tweeted out, oh, hey, Omar tweeted, hey, if we got 10,000 miles, can we get rid of the steering wheel nag? And Elon's like, yeah, that's a good idea. We'll update it. To which NHTSA's like, excuse me? Don't you know that even though that's not a requirement and other car companies don't have steering wheel nag, that we're going to investigate you now?
doesn't it sound
So
like sometimes people have some ulterior motives?
NHTSA does not like, doesn't, I mean,
They don't like Tesla.
a lot of the government letter named agencies really seem to have a rage wang out for the man. It's like the SEC with all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, first NHTSA begged for the camera, and then, by the way, it was so stupid. All the articles were like, Tesla needs to have a camera in the driver's face, and then as soon as they had it, they're like, is Tesla spying on you? Gee, come on, people. And the problem with being a critic who can't be pleased is at some point people stop trying to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. So, fortunately, that's our last story of the night. So,
it's fortunate.
yeah, look at that. It's 6:07 on my time. I know
5:07
you're
here.
living in the past still.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
nicer here.
Why?
Because COVID hasn't made it to 1 hour ago yet.
Oh,
Wait, that's
you
not right.
you said the C word. YouTube is gonna like
Yeah, but this
you
late
just
in the
got us
show.
demonetized.
Oh, I wonder.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
Brian, I want to thank my patrons for being here and not being there because, as always, mine are cooler than yours.
Are they?
Yeah, and yeah, they are. I really think that they are. I mean,
Yeah.
if they're willing to stick around with me, over you,
Yeah. Yeah.
obviously, obviously they think I'm more intelligent because they're not picking me over the handsomeness. They'll pick you every day of the week.
Yeah.
Look at that glow.
Yep.
Woo!
Yeah. This don't happen on accident.
Absolutely
All right.
not.
I want to thank my patrons, of course, and everybody, and for all those who are hanging out and all that good stuff. So we've got the end screen, which means my viewers are already fleeing. So let's go ahead and just wrap it up.
Consider this one a wrap. Bye, everyone.